So after I finished the book Seeking Selfdom and the Age of Selfies in March, I was going to develop this podcast series, one for every chapter. And lo and behold, life takes over, priorities shift and change. And sometimes when you start something, you don't finish it. But today I was like, this is some of the one of the episodes I recorded, which is going to be like the second episode. I think is really interesting to listen to. So I wanted to share that with you. So take a listen, see if it resonates with you. Hopefully some new ideas your mind can chew on. What is reality? Yeah, I know that's a big question, and it's a question that has come up for me many times. And I thought about it probably a little bit more deeply than other people. But I came up with this idea that there are 4 intersecting realities. First is the reality that we experience. And I'm going to go into these a little bit deeper, but I want to give you this list of 4. So there's a reality that we experience. Then there's the reality that others experience. And then there's a shared reality where we reach momentary experiential agreements with others. And then there is a reality that exists outside of our field of comprehension due to the limitations of our cognitive and interpretive capabilities. Now, the 4th reality acknowledges the fact that the majority of what is real and true is beyond our understanding, but it still exists, although it cannot be seen, felt, consciously experienced, or fully explained. It never will. When I think about the inability to, not just see something, but the inability to be able to explain something, even if it cannot be seen or felt, I really kind of came to the conclusion that even though we have 5 miraculous senses that allow us to perceive the world, it really does limit us from being able to take in the much, much, much larger reality that actually exists. But that's kind of like one of those, put that on the back burner, because it could take a very long time to understand. And you never may really fully understand it, but there's a lot of different things that have been written about it and ideas about perceptual reality. But let's talk about the first 3. So the one is the reality that we experience and how we see the world, how we view the world, how we view ourselves, how we look at other people. What does it all mean? That's all this, this construction of reality that's happening in our minds. And then we know that everybody else is doing the same thing. And then we, don't always know what the range and scope of that is, of what their reality is really like. I mean, we can make attempts through empathy, and I think empathy is very helpful in helping us understand people's situational realities, environmental contexts, but we can never really tap into their perceptual reality. And they might not even be fully cognizant of what that means, or may have never explained it, and, that's where it gets a little tricky, right? But then there's the other thing that I think we all really should learn to navigate and understand, and that's the shared reality. And this shared reality is interesting because we accept that we are, here at the same time in the same place, and it's manifested in our interactions with other people, and it could be face-to-face or all the other modalities in which we interact with other people. And that's how we together construct a reality, have shared memories that typify what that reality is. It's not like we sit and talk about it or come to clarification on what that reality is. We accept that people understand this kind of intersection that we have with other people. And you may wonder, how does that apply, or does that have anything to do with seeking selfdom? And it has a lot to do with seeking selfdom, because one of the core ideas behind this idea is that who we are is shaped, is influenced, and is reflected by other people. So understanding where they're coming from, understanding where that shared reality is, really is going to get us on the track towards getting to know ourselves more and being able to put that out into the world so that it's reflected back to us and continues to influence our development over time. We could call it maturation. We could call it aging. And it's true, time is a factor in all of this. But that's all we really have is time. Time does not rule us, nor are we necessarily ruled by time, but we do create, a structure of our life based upon time. So if you really want to think about it and you really want to get going on this idea of seeking selfdom, and there's a whole lot more I want to tell you about, is just to really take into consideration this idea of perceptual reality and what it is and what it isn't and how we can shape it and things that we cannot control. How can we, react differently? And I know you've probably heard this before, how you react, but it's also what do you take from other people in building kind of the selfdom that you're seeking, and hopefully you're seeking it. I think we all should, but that's just kind of my bias. I know I am, and my whole intention is in writing the book and, of course, doing this podcast is kind of to share those insights with other people, and maybe they will find something within those insights that could be ultimately helpful. I hope you continue to expand your mind, ask questions, look for answers, and really take the time to get to know yourself on a deeper level. And I'll definitely do the same. Until next time.